Welcome to TEW 2016, the branding solution. We are here for Money in the Bank for the 200th episode of the branding solution, and this card is beyond the word stacked. On the main card there is 40 matches, or 40 segments. I have pretty much 7 matches per brand, so you can work that out to be 21. And some pre-show matches just because I wanted to get everybody on the card. In the end, the only person not in a match that's full-time is Shad Gaspel, because I only had 26 people left off Monday Night Raw. So, yeah. For the pre-show kickoff, we had the American Alpha versus the Revival, so they're both the Money in the Bank tag team winners from the previous week's shows, facing off with American Alpha picking up the win. Now I know these are going to take a while to load because there is a lot to get through. Let's be honest, we've got a 50-woman battle royal next. The main reason for this is I want everyone on the card. Emma was slowed down through injury, we knew that. And we gave Nia Jax the win. I pulled the trigger and I was going to go Nikki Cross, but I felt it's just too soon and it wasn't going to quite. I think a lot of people would have been unhappy. The final four: Alicia Fox, Gail Kim and Taryn Terrell. So yeah, I felt that worked. The improvements are across the board, and as these are only pre-show, they won't move storylines along, so I'm not overly worried. There's a few tag team ones, but it shouldn't be affected too much. We then move into, I believe it's a 40-man Shockwave Battle Royal, just to give them a match. And Kane won this. Yeah, I decided to let the game pick the winner on this one. I thought we're going to let it just give me a randomizer. The only thing I picked was Braun Strowman getting the most eliminations. Otherwise, that's quite a good rating still, a C. I'm happy with C's. I feel we could get that across the board. And the final one is just a 25-man battle royal. It's got a 66, which is great. Del Rio picked up the win here, and Baron Corbin got the most eliminations over the match. Okay, I'm happy enough with that. Enzo, Baron and Pentagon Jr. got near the end. And another host of improvements, and a bruised knee for Jim Hughes, so he'll recover from that quite easily. Nobody's fault. We start the show by looking at the 4 main title matches. We have Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, Sasha Banks against Paige, Rusev against Austin Aries, Kevin Owens and Big Cass. All the champions were announced first. We do have 3 heel champions in one place. It's a great start to the show and moves all the segments along and does help Big Cass get pulled up a little bit to the next level. Now let's start this show with a match. An 80. Brilliant start to the show. Dolph Ziggler defeats John Morrison, and this is going to be the end of Dolph Ziggler's involvement in the Intercontinental title storyline. He lost all his matches to The Miz, but he got one over on John Morrison, who cost him the last one. It's a great start. We're going to jump into Shockwave's Money in the Bank as we look at all of the men involved, and these are going to be classed as promos, but they're more or less going to be like the video package. Look at everything. And we have an 81, so we're getting better. We picked Sami Zayn. I've gone through everybody to potentially win this match, apart from Bobby Roode. I could have gone for Tyler Breeze because he needed that push would get him to main event. I was going to go with Adam Cole and do something down the line. Same with Cody Rhodes and Cesaro just to freshen him up a bit. But I've gone with Sami Zayn because he was great as my Intercontinental Champion last year. And I want to keep him in a title hunt, and I feel the next step, the only step ready for him to go to, is the world title. I'm happy with the people in and around the US title, and I don't want Sami Zayn just fighting for a mid-card title for another year. So that was 280 matches. This is probably going to be the second worst match of the night. It's the women's tag team title match. We have Bad and Beautiful versus the Jet Set. And we end up having, wow, a 77. I did not see that coming. We kept the titles on Bad and Beautiful. Just so you know, none of the tag team Money in the Banks can be cashed in tonight. That was the rule. I could have stuck them all on this card as well. And you think that was another 6 matches, another 3 matches to add on. It's not going to happen. We can't keep stacking my cards this big at the moment. Jinder, this will probably be the worst match of the night. He's talking about his chat. He's got to face a 10-man battle royal for his TV title, which was announced on Monday Night Raw, but who was involved was not. And here is who's involved. We had Riley, Dawkins, Busick, Dallas, Carlito, Axel, Lethal, Rocky Romero and R-Truth. We kept it on Jinder. I'm happy that we got a 60 plus for this. It was not going to be anything fancy. I just wanted to get the title on the pay-per-view. Now we hype up for the Bayley Becky Lynch match. And also in here Bayley talks about the Nikki Cross involvement in their rivalry. I chose not to put Nikki Cross on screen because she's not involved in this match. I didn't want her overused or costing anything special. So we have a solid 78. Okay, it's not the best. It'll do. I gave Becky the win. The main reason for this is that Bayley is pregnant and won't be appearing after, I think it's about 40 more days until she leaves for 9 months. So I'm going to use Bayley to help other people get over. And Becky just didn't quite have anything to do tonight. So that was the reason for this. Hyping up the British Invasion versus Barrett and Max. They've been going back and forth for months. Now this one is just carrying on the rivalry. I don't really think, 79. I didn't expect the greatest of match here. I gave Bad News the winner over Sheamus though. Keep Drew from getting pinned, which I think was kind of important as he is the most over of the 4. Now we look at the Raw's Money in the Bank match, and as I said, I could have given it to any of them. The only person I probably would have said no is Apollo. Kofi won it last year. The Miz has gone from being someone I nearly got rid of to one of the most valuable guys on Raw. Roderick and Finn and Luke Harper are all in the midst of mega pushes. So, any of them could have won this. But I pulled the trigger on Finn Balor, an 85 match, and Finn Balor was the star of the show. I had to go Finn Balor in the end. His storyline is all about getting one up on the Authority, and if the Authority don't have the Money in the Bank briefcase, it means that's another part of the company they do not control, which is key to this storyline, control. And an 85, that's probably my best ladder match. Now we move on to the debut title match, where we have Carmella and Naomi. This, I don't expect much. A 66, it's what you're going to expect from this. Carmella keeps her title one more time. We just had to put one more match in for those two. We now go to the tag team title match from Shockwave, the Club versus the Briscoes, and a 77. Well, I was expecting slightly better for this one. They've had great matches in the past. Gallows and Anderson aren't doing quite as well as they used to. The Briscoes retain. The Club will not get another title match. We look at Triple H and Bray Wyatt. We have the 5-on-5 later in the night, and these two are still going back and forth. Bray wants the match at SummerSlam, and he says once he beats him, once his team wins tonight, Triple H will only have to answer to Bray one more time. This leads to our world title match. I knew this wasn't going to be the best match of the night. Kevin Owens retains. As I said before, this match only really came about because I didn't have anyone for Kevin Owens to face. All of the guys were involved in storylines, or he's beaten them. He beat Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt the last time around. There is no one left big face that wasn't involved in a match. So I'm going to keep the title on him. Comfortable win. Now we're going to look at the women's Money in the Bank match. And this got all the heat because of the Charlotte and Ember Moon situation. Let's go into the match. We got an 81. Yes, I went with Alexa Bliss to win this. All of my storyline building said I was going to give it to Ember Moon. And the whole thing was it's going to go to Ember. And she's going to do a Bray Wyatt type cash-in. But I changed my mind and went with Alexa Bliss. Because Ember's got the big push. She's got Charlotte. Next episode of SmackDown. Next pay-per-view, Ember's got the title match. If I'm going to put the title on Ember, it will have to be there. Otherwise, I'm going to do it later down the line. I didn't feel right doing a title match and then doing one whenever I feel like cashing in the belt. And Alexa is the future of this brand, so I need to make her better. An 81, I'm happy with this. You can see like Levy Bates, Mickey, Summer Rae were quite weak. But still, we had Charlotte for star power. We now have extra pump up for the US title match, Nakamura versus Okada. And we got an 87. Brilliant. Last year they were getting maybe 70s. So a year down the line, Nakamura beats Okada to retain his title one more time. And fantastic rating. Match of the night so far. We move on to the Raw Tag Team title picture now. Again, a few more crazier sounding matches. We have the Bucks versus the Ring Kings. And there's another 79. The Bucks win. You can see their ratings 88 and 87 and 50. So the Bucks carried this match. They are probably my best tag team. If I could just put the Bucks versus the Briscoes every night, I probably would get 90s. So yeah, happy with that. We now look at the women's Intercontinental match, Nikki Bella versus Asuka. And we have a win for Asuka. She retains the title once more. Defense number 9, 86 match. These matches are getting better. I'm liking this. Now this is going to probably be the weak link. Kenny Omega says, well, all these titles on the line. I feel I'm going to save my title for a Shockwave exclusive. Sorry, Will. And then we end up having Shane come out and say, right, you don't want to defend your title. You can have a 5-on-5 tonight to show off the Cruiserweight division so people can come and see all the people that will eventually take your title, Kenny. And that's next. So, we did have a 5-on-5. Yeah, 64. That's actually better than I thought it would be. But now I've got some more established heels, like Neville, Saban and Shelley. It works really well. I did give Will Ospreay the pin victory over Kenny Omega, which sort of goes against his Weasley character of getting out the title match. I'm happy with everything that went on in that match, pretty much. We now look at Seth Rollins versus Kurt Angle. If Kurt Angle wins, Seth's gone, as it's just continuing these people doing Triple H's dirty work for him. And an 89 rated match, Seth Rollins beats Kurt Angle to continue his rise through Triple H's authority who dumped him. We now look at Rusev versus Aries for the Shockwave World title. Again, I think this will be a high 70s, maybe early 80s. An 87, wow, well, that's a lot better than I was expecting. Obviously, Aries isn't as far over as Rusev, but an 87 is a fantastic rating. Rusev retains, of course. and I'm happy with that decision. We then look at Sasha and Paige, the women's title match, number 87 rating, and the match itself got a 90. I'm happy again with that. Sasha retains. I was going to put a interference, but I'm holding that back for the next night. We now look at the 5-on-5. We've sort of mentioned Bray. I don't need Big E in it as well, but it's going to be Bryan, Punk, Cena and Joe versus Orton, Ambrose, Styles and Sandow. They are Big E and they have Bray Wyatt. So we've moved some segments along. And in this 5-on-5 main event match, we get an 84. Okay, it's still solid enough. I had Adam Cole distract AJ Styles just to keep that storyline going, but I gave Daniel Bryan the pinfall victory because I feel he needed it to continue the storyline along more. So yeah, the weak link Sandow. It's probably because of the interference, and it's 5-on-5. It's not really the most important thing. And I got punished for having Joe on the face team. Never mind. And now our main event, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. The last time they had a singles match, they got into the 90s. Let's see if we can do it again. We get an 85. Slightly too long, I'm guessing. Roman Reigns retained. They're not very good at selling. And they don't really have psychology. Roman Reigns continued to improve. I think I might have actually put this storytelling. Yeah, I should have put it as storytelling. But still, an 85 main event. I don't think we've had a match, a serious title match that's been less than 75. So I'm really happy with this. We end the show with Triple H attacking Roman Reigns and looking, it's like, where's Finn? Like, he wants Finn to come and cash in, and Finn just doesn't show. Triple H looks furious. He wanted to take the title off Reigns tonight, but there's nobody to cash in. So we end the show with a, let's hope we get a high 80, an 88. Yeah, we had so many matches that that's about right, really. If we had this lot in singles against each other, we probably could have broke the 90s. They're that good. We have to praise the match tonight was probably Sasha and Seth Rollins' match was probably just as high up. We'll praise Roman. And we'll praise someone off the other show. So we'll go Rusev. We'll praise our champ, who actually put on one of the matches of the night. Rusev, 87, yeah. So we'll make the speech. Pleased, and pleased. So we'll head back to the main screen. We're going to check a few little bits and bobs and see where we stand. And we are now back at the news stories, and we have awards. Half-year awards. So at the moment, Roman Reigns is considered the Wrestler of the Year. Fair enough. Company of the Year is WWE. Team of the Year is CM Punk and Randy Orton. Interesting. They've had one match together, maybe two. Match of the Year is Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan versus Brock and Randy. Show of the Year was No Mercy at the moment. Young Wrestler is Will Ospreay. Veteran is Kurt Angle. Female Sasha again. And Independent is the same as last year, I believe. Otherwise, there's so much news. Emma's fully fit now. Rules change style. Jimmy's got a bruised knee. Oh god, there's a host of stuff to read there. Pay rise, fine. We have so much money, we can give people whatever we want. Storyline wise, change of style, gone somewhere else. Finishes to Eddie Edwards being renewed, I think. Just double check this. I doubt we'll be able to sign him, so I think he's on TNA anyway. I can't sign him because he's TNA. I'm keeping that in place. I don't mind. The only one that's really important is Alexa Bliss's contract. And at her age of 25 or 26 on here, 25, popularity skyrocketing, I'm going to go for a 6-year deal. I'm not too worried. She'll stay. The rest is all deletable. If that hardly still believe. We're going to look here at the most powerful, most popular, because we have too much time on our hands. In the USA alone, the Miz looks like he's crashed down. He's gone down 1. So Roman is top now. Right. A point over Kevin Owens. Undertaker's still there. Rusev gained some points. I think Brock lost some. Seth has gone up. Punk and Orton. Sasha Banks has leapfrogged the Miz. Daniel Bryan, Page has gone up after even losing. And Finn Balor just about rounds up the top 15. No real surprises on that page. I believe Alexa Bliss has gone right up. And Ember Moon jumped another point. Bayley has gone down because she's gonna start crashing anyway. Roderick and Aries are those to make up the top 2 pages. Okay. What? The Power 500. Oh, that's not going to change at the moment. So let's just double check. Jimmy's injury. It's not really like career ending, a bruised knee. Drew McIntyre's not happy. Why is this? He lost a match a couple of weeks ago. Why is Big E not happy? Big E's not happy because of losing a tag title. I'm not sure. So he's still furious about a match last summer. I don't know why he holds a grudge for so long. It was all designed for some one thing. Anyway, let's check Jimmy's injury. He's going to even work for his 3 days. He'll miss a match on Raw. Great, never mind. Otherwise, that's not too bad. The storylines we'll go through later because I will be ending some and starting some new ones. Let's see, we have some quality around the whole company at the moment. There are still a couple going that will continue, but there's a few new people going into storylines over the next few weeks. So that one doesn't need to be there anymore. But I've got to work out who could be certain people's next contenders, etc. Creatively, we'll see who is hot, who is not. Paige is now broken into the top of that list, which is surprising, and Sasha's taken the number 1 spot. The Miz, the Briscoes, the Bucks, and Oblivion. No surprises there. Okay, so that was shock. That was Money in the Bank. We're going to just check the titles, see if any prestiges have changed. That's going up, so I think it's technically classed as June. This has gone down. That's a bit disappointing. The Intercontinental didn't get defended. How's this one? This is continuing to go up, and I think this may have gone, stays where it is. The debut title is going up. The women's tag is going back. Is that the highest it's ever been? I don't know. Getting back to the highest it's been. The women's Intercontinental was definitely at the highest it's ever been. and the women's title is also at the highest it's ever been. Cruiserweight didn't get defended, nor did that. This tag team, I think, has stayed at 70. The world picture, that has gone back down, but it was like an A-star sort of match you had then. And this has stayed. I thought it may have gone up, but never mind. But that's the show. We're going to come back and do Monday Night Raw and see where everything has gone. I hope you enjoyed this, even if it was slightly longer than normal. Thank you for watching.